MSTR saw a nice bounce at that 369 level and continuation up, breaking that descending pattern. And our price is closing at that $395 level, looking to trend all the way up to that possible 425. Finding that break where we kind of found that resistance the first time around, got in a descending range, and then we broke out of that. Reach highs of 457, but then we came right back down. But really sharp V-type pattern, getting a move up, getting a sharp move down, kind of mirroring that exact movement. So nice to see we found a bounce there after being very diluted, really coming down here. And we got a nice movement up. Now there's a bit of indecision. So should we expect price to go all the way up to that 425? Or is that $400 psychological level going to be a tough spot to get back over and reclaim? All right, guys, on the weekly chart, we see that MSTR was a very, very strong stock, right? We see that getting this chop range breakout all the way to 543. Then we get in a descending bull flag like range breakout. That's where we hit that 425. That price target that we got right now. Come back in this descending range, then we break out even further to around that 457 like we examined. And then we come back down, and now we get that leg up, holding a bit higher here. So instead of crashing all the way to the floor, where we got that breakout of around that 358 bottom, right? We hold a little bit higher and we get that breakout, forming a sharp correction pattern, kind of double bottoming and getting that nice move up. So in the past MSTR video, we saw that we were very diluted, really getting hammered down, and now it's nice to see that bounce we got here, guys. Looking optimistic on the weekly, we remain bullish. All right, guys, turning back to the daily, we see a very, very nice movement here. So taking off the drawings, we see once we get down to that bottom floor, we see sellers really try to push the narrative, stemming off this momentum that they have here, push us really far down. Buyers step in the next day, correcting that movement. Sellers try to step in again, buyers step in again, getting a little bit tighter here. The nice volatile price action, moving us above that $391 level and even that $400 level. And then sellers step right back in, right? Buyers try to push us even higher, kind of stemming off that movement there. That's where you see the selling pressure, and you see that sellers step right back in, putting us under that 400, closing at that 395. Definitely nice to see that the buyers found the bounce here, and we have some nice continuation back up. Now we see a very indecisive candle with no true control, sellers or buyers not in that ultimate control. Lots of back and forth here, which could be expected after a nice kind of breakout like movement, and then hitting a tough level like that $400 psychological level. I think if we can really reclaim that level, guys, we're looking very, very nice for that retest of 425 and even a retest of the highs of this area, that $457 level. After we kind of got above that $400 level in the past, guys, tough spot to get over it here, and we get crumble right back under it. And it's kind of a tough spot to claim. We get above it, get under it, get above it, get back under it. Once we get back under it and build that energy up, we see that very explosive movement. So I think that if we can really reclaim and get above that 400 quite strongly, guys, we're looking very nice and prone to a retest of that 425 and possibly that 457 ceiling. Definitely really good to see that we get the bounce there after being very diluted and sellers in the ultimate control. Buyers really not in this fight here, but buyers really step in at the floor of 369, guys. Very nice price action, breaking that descending range and continuation up. Next couple of days will be crucial if we can hold that ultimate support of 391, trend back to that 400, break that, and continue the rally up to 425. I think it's very probable. All right, guys, taking a look on the hourly, we see that better break of that resistance in that descending range, right? We kind of get to that 457 high, then we get pushed back down. Sellers in that ultimate control, buyers really aren't in this fight here, guys. We see a sharp movement down, buyers try to get that movement up, gap down, buyers try to get that movement up again, kind of hit around that resistance point, and we get a sharp movement down. Buyers try to step in, shorter movement up, trying to break that range. Very, very sharp movement down and a gap down to the floor, right, hitting that level of 365. And then buyers try to get their movement up, hit that resistance, and then shut down again. But this time, shut down a bit higher, creating a higher low in this formation right here, guys. And then we get a movement up and out of this resistance zone here. Slight gap up and continuation, getting above that $400 level, and then we get pushed back down. But find that support right around that 391, kind of that 391 to 390.50-ish range, and then we get that movement up. Now we're back in this chop zone of 391 and 400, guys, being in chop zone in the past. Kind of a spot where we either go up or down. If you look in the past here on the hourly, guys, don't spend a lot of time in this area. Either go up or get a quick rejection. Gap up here, gap down here, resistance, can't get into that zone, and then, big move up, big move down, big move up, chop around for several hourly candles, and big move explosive up to those highs, and then once again chop in that zone and quickly gap down from that zone again, and now we're right in that zone. So I don't expect to stay in this zone for a long time. I think that buyers get that upper hand, showing that they really have had that nice bounce and continuation. I think that we do test that 400 and quickly get out of this zone, as this zone isn't much of a chop range. Very much an exit pathway. It's either we go up or down. And this is showing the exact same, right? Big volatile movement up, big volatile movement down. I don't think we chop here for many more hourly candles. I think we do pick a direction, and I think that is up retesting that 400. Unless we get a sharp rejection there, starting to get a descending range, we could be testing the floor and possibly breaking through the floor. But I think MSTR looks very, very good here. A lot more room to the upside than the downside. It's a very strong stock, guys. I mean, this thing isn't going to get crushed. It got very diluted, but I don't see MSTR going much further down after this, after we've gotten that very nice correction, break of that descending resistance, and now very nice explosive movement up. And now it makes sense that we kind of are finding a little bit of a hold up around that $400 psychological level. But I do think that we retest that, guys, and we push right through those highs, that being around that, 408 rough level, 409 to 408, and break through that level, that being a pretty prominent level. If we break through that, nothing really holding us back to that 425. Then past that 425, looking very prone to the ceiling of 443 and 457. So definitely like what I'm seeing here, guys. I think we look good for that retest of 400 and break of 409. I think we possibly could be getting into some sort of a stair-step pattern, right? Big volatile movement up, smaller pullback, nice volatile movement up, smaller pullback, nice volatile moving up. Kind of do something like that, guys. We're seeing price action that indicates that a break of an obvious resistance range. Very nice strong body green candles on the hourly. A smaller pullback, strong red candles. But when you see that we find some obvious support here and start to trend back up, hourly looks very good. All right, guys, turning to Bitcoin now, as you should keep an eye on Bitcoin if you trade MSTR. MSTR has the most shares in Bitcoin. It often moves together. Recently, we haven't been seeing them move together, but if Bitcoin's getting completely destroyed, solid chance MSTR is going to get destroyed as well. So in the long-term picture, we break out of this long-term bull flag, get up to the ceiling of 110,000. We've had a bit of struggle, right, at that 106,000 level, getting pushed down multiple times. Once we try to break through that 106, being a very prominent range here, and we get above it, get below it, get above it. Once we finally get above it again in a strong manner, kind of hold within that 110 and 106, and that's where you see a nice movement up, kind of breaking this descending resistance that we had going on here, claiming that as support and really getting above that 110,000 in a strong manner. That's where you see that price really pick up, guys. We get all the way to that 123,000 level of all-time highs. See a very strong wide body green candle here, indicating the shift in momentum and how strong buyers are after that break of 110,000 and that descending resistance here, really picking up that steam. And buyers in full control with around 4 days here of price action. Sellers try to step in, but we get pushed even higher to that 123,000. Instead of seeing a sharp rejection down after hitting all-time high areas, guys, we kind of chop around. We don't let a pullback happen here. Just chop around within the zone of 120,000 and 115,000. Two psychological dollar levels. Chop for a bit, sellers try to make their movement down. They can't get back to 110,000. We hold higher, and we kind of chop around tight at that ceiling of 115,000. Reclaim that as support as it once was, and now we are trending up. So Bitcoin in a very healthy spot here, right? We break this, more shorter term resistance here in a very nice fashion. Somebody has to win. Buyers show that they are ready to win with a nice wide green candle, and now kind of continuing within this range. A little bit of selling pressure as we see these top wicks, but I think Bitcoin's in a very healthy spot here. I don't see a very drastic pull down happening, especially if we're in this range of 115,000 and 120,000. I think there was a strong possibility we use that 115,000 as strong support again and kind of trend back to 120,000. Possibly looking for a retest of all-time highs before seeing a real pullback here. Bitcoin looking extremely strong, and that will only help MSTR. So that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know your MSTR price predictions in the comments below. I think we look really good here after getting that bounce. We were very diluted, so keep that in mind. MSTR saw a lot of share dilution, and it kind of led to this, sharp decline here. Definitely nice to see that correction and starting to move back up, getting out of that sharp descending range. So looking good here, guys. We're staying bullish. If you want me to continue covering MSTR, make sure to like and subscribe. Be patient and trade smart, guys, and I will see you all in the next one.